Tonight, a countdown special event, the most important events of the final year of the first decade of the new millennium. Or as the folks in marketing won't let us call it, stuff we liked. There was, of course, no lack of events to choose from, events that inspired us, events that moved us, events that appalled us, events that moved us forward, and events that moved us backward. And though they may have felt anticlimactic at the time, given how much energy was spent on them beforehand, this year saw not one but two events that historians will look back on as defining moments for our country. President Barack Obama ended combat operations in a war that changed us perhaps as much as it did Iraq. Begun with a lie by a president bound and determined to go to war regardless of the truth. 4,430 Americans died in Iraq, 179 Brits, 139 people from other countries. No one knows how many Iraqis. Maybe 100,000, maybe more. 2 million or so displaced from their homes. Iraq no longer a buffer against Iran, but an ally. America damaged beyond calculation overseas and at home. President Obama drawing it towards a close, hopefully. U.S. troops leaving Iraq, leaving behind 50,000 in a support capacity. U.S. armed forces no longer mounting its own combat operations in Iraq. Combat fatalities still occurring monthly, now, however, down to single digits. The fatality rate about 1/10 of what it is in the war Mr. Obama chose to ramp up, based on the premise that securing Hamid Karzai as the president of Afghanistan will somehow make us safer. But if ending one president's mistake will put 2010 in the history books, so will a victory that no other president managed to achieve in 100 years of trying. President Obama, after one of the most bruising, protracted national political debates in recent memory, secured in writing, in law, for the American people the right to health insurance. Tens of millions estimated to join the ranks of the covered, the deficit projected to be reduced as a result. The right to health care, however, still an elusive one. Also still elusive, sanity and common sense in governing Wall Street. Mr. Obama passing financial regulatory reform, giving consumers an agency for protecting them, failing to restore the Depression-era firewalls that once protected the nation from the short-term, high-risk profit-taking that broke our economy. The administration got beat up from both sides for being too cooperative with, or tough on, BP, for the explosion of its oil rig that killed 11 men, slimed the Gulf of Mexico, and shut down entire industries there for months. Natural disasters struck in Haiti with an earthquake, and at home in Tennessee, which clamored for attention during flooding there. We lost some of our favorite people this year. Young men whose careers never transcended their beginnings, and legends who redefined typical Hollywood careers by lampooning Hollywood and themselves in the very same movie. And here on this news hour, some of our favorite things managed to mix a little bit of Hollywood and a little bit of lampooning with our bread and butter, politics. The absurdly false claim that President Obama is a secret Muslim seated at birth with Islam cried out for lampooning. We did our best to oblige.
The Muslim-seeded toddler engineered the divorce of his own parents to prevent people from learning that his father was Muslim. In his book, Obama claims that by then his father was no longer Muslim, instead portraying him as something much more popular with Americans, an atheist. Obama still claims not to know whether his grandfather was Sunni or Shiite, but he sure looks sunny. To keep up appearances, Obama cleverly violated his Islamic faith whenever he could, fooling everyone by never going to Mecca. The plan was working perfectly, but there were clues for those willing to do the incredibly hard work of seeing them. As a radical Muslim youth, he ran an Islamic journal whose Arabic name translates as Harvard Law Review. Islam permits men to take a number of wives, and that's exactly what Barack Obama did. The number he picked was 1, and a woman with an Arabic name, Michelle Robinson, who insists on wearing a burqa. His favorite team, the Chicago Bulls, who just happened to play in the same division as the Milwaukee Bucks, whose arena just happened to be known as the Mecca. Coincidence? And what about his legislative agenda? He openly practices Chicago-style politics, just like the Taliban does, extending benefits for the unemployed, including Muslims, expanding health care for all, including every single Muslim in the country, unless already covered by employer health care plan. To this day, President Obama continues to refuse to bomb not just one, but many Muslim countries. He even refuses to close his secret tropical paradise safe haven for Muslims, just 90 miles from America's shores. Obama nearly let the cat out of the bag on several occasions, openly attacking a longtime Christian leader, thanking his co-conspirators for keeping his secret secret.
John McCain has not talked about my Muslim faith.
Outlining his dream of an Islamic America.
We'd be one of the largest Muslim countries in the world.
And bragging about how much he's done already.
We are no longer a Christian nation. There is a mosque in every state in our union.
If few seem to care that Obama is America's first secret Muslim president, it might be due to the popularity of America's first openly Muslim president, who won America's heart by turning the White House into a virtual mosque.
This is the fifth year in a row that it's been my honor to host an iftar in the state dining room.
Revealing how he came to embrace Allah.
The revelation of God's word to the Prophet Muhammad in the form of the Quran.
Using the English word for Allah, God, he talked about the Bush family holidays.
Ramadan is a time of heartfelt prayer and togetherness.
Explained how Islam helps America through tough times.
It's a national and Islamic obligation to assist one's neighbors when they are in need.
And outlined his master plan to make America more Islamic.
I've encouraged American families to host exchange students from the Muslim world. I've asked young Americans to study the language and customs of the broader Middle East.
After getting rid of all the White House Bibles, he proudly announced their replacement.
For the first time in our nation's history, we've added a Quran to the White House library.
So, the big mystery is not President Obama's secret Islamic faith, but why he won't simply admit to being the second Muslim commander-in-chief of the United States of Mecca.
Assalamu alaikum.
Islam is peace.